NXT, WWE Performance Center, this is tremendous. There's also WWE Performance Center in the UK. Tell us what it's like to be here, and also about WWE Performance Center in the UK and what that facility is like.
So every time I've come here over the last 3 years or so, I walk in the door and I think how far we've come. You know, I came from a rundown community centre in Coventry, only on a Sunday, we didn't even have a ring, and now I walk in here and I look around and I think to myself, just look at the equipment and the opportunities that are in here, and now to have that in the UK is extra special, because every time we come in here, myself, Trent, Tyler, Mark Andrews, Wolfgang, we'd say to each other, I just wish we had something like this back home. Now we finally do, so how amazing is that?
What are the coaches like back home, and just that whole experience for you now that you've been part of it?
Yeah. So it's a similar coaching team to here back home. It's Robbie Brookside has been a huge part of this place, and Johnny Moss, who to me is one of the best British wrestlers of all time, but it's just a little unknown, do you know what I mean? But the wrestlers themselves in the UK know just how good he is. So it's very familiar, which I think is definitely a good thing, because we want NXT UK to have that same NXT feel, but with a European spin on it, and they're the perfect two to do it.
This is all one, and it's all one family and one company. But is there competition between NXT and NXT UK?
There's competition everywhere in the wrestling world right now, and it's healthy. Do you know what I mean? I really think competition is. The thing about NXT that I found from day one here is everyone wants everyone to do well. You know, we all want to be able to work with each other and go out and steal the show. But you know, you want to be part of that. You know, you want to be a focus as it grows and grows. You know, you want to be in the mix. So it's definitely a healthy competition to go out there and kill it every takeover, and now every week, every single Wednesday.
You talked about a little bit, but I want to go in depth a little more about what it means that WWE decided we're going into the UK, we're going to have a facility there, we're going to really step it up here. What do you mean to you, and even other wrestlers that are there?
So for me especially, like, I was a part of British wrestling from 12 years old, and there was no shows, there was no training, we didn't even have a ring. It was barely existent. There was one or two companies that maybe would draw 100 people, and that was huge at the time. So I'm coming from a scene that didn't exist, and now we've been a part of that journey since 12 years old, and have been a huge part in building it and getting it to where it is now, to the point where WWE have saw it, a huge company like this have saw it and gone, we want to be a part of that, there's something special going on there, we want to be a part of this. So for me, it's a huge sense of pride.
What is it like when you're going to wrestling in front of those small crowds, and then all of a sudden you're on a show and there's like thousands of people out there?
Well, myself and Tyler, we were thrown in at the deep end. Everyone on that initial tournament was, but especially me and Tyler was off you go. But the crazy thing is, working in front of those small audiences prepared me for that better than anything else, because we were going out there and there's almost it doesn't matter if you mess up, because there's only 20 people there, and back then people weren't tweeting about it. There were no videos of it. You go out there, you mess up again, you do that for 10 years straight. By the time the opportunity rolled around, I've never felt a single nerve since being here. It's just what I do at this point. It's ingrained in me.
How do you feel about NXT on the USA Network? It's the big thing today, so we're out here promoting that and all. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to NXT? Even NXT UK, what does it mean having this show on the USA Network?
So obviously, now us really feeling like the third brand. We've always felt like that, and I genuinely think we were, but now it's official, right? We're the third brand. We're on USA every single Wednesday, and that's the coolest thing to see, and again to feel a part of that, like that pride. When I look back at the end of my career, already now I'm able to look back, and it's not necessarily about the matches or those ones that I remember so fondly, but look at what we've done, what I've been a part of, and as I see that coming out, this is the peak of it so far. It's a new beginning, right? But this is the peak of it. This is the biggest thing we've done. Today feels really special.
There's been special moments with NXT, and there are special moments with NXT UK. So being a part of both, really, how do you schedule? How do you just your time mentally? How do you work with doing both, actually?
So for the last 3 years, I've been non-stop. I haven't had time to think. I just one thing to the next, because I was also doing independent. So I had an independent schedule. I was doing main roster stuff whenever they would tour the UK, or I did the Royal Rumble. I did Monday Night Raw. So I had all that going on, and then I also had obviously NXT UK, and I was also coming out here doing this. So I've just learned to just roll with it and let it all pan out. And this is a career to me. Do you know what I mean? This is what I do. So it's fine. I juggle it mentally. It's fine.
This is your passion.
Exactly.
And you enjoy doing what you're doing when it's your passion. I want to ask you, what did family think when you were growing up and you come to the revelation, I want to be a pro wrestler? What was their thoughts behind
So
it?
my family thought I was crazy, but they were supportive. They let me do what I want. I was kind of a quiet kid, did my own stuff. They trusted me. They let me go off and do whatever. I was on the road at 13, 14 years old, and they were okay with that. They know I'd keep myself safe. So because of that, I got this brilliant foundation. They might not have ever thought it would pan out to be a career, but I knew it would, and that's all that mattered. It didn't matter about how they looked at it, and now they love it. Do you know what I mean? I'm able to support a girlfriend and a baby, and you know, now they see what it's become, and it's cool.
You mentioned starting off so young. Was that challenging? Maybe not physically, well maybe physically too, but even mentally, just being so young and going out there and wrestling and all.
Yeah, I mean, I think mentally it helped because from the physical side of it at least, like I wasn't scared of doing anything. I was very shy. It helped me come out of that shell. So I think it helped in some ways, and then in other ways, like maybe physically, maybe in 10 years I might say, oh, maybe I wish I didn't wrestle since I was 12 years old, but overall I think it's been positive.
Did the other wrestlers treat you okay? Being that you were so young,
yeah.
Just as far as just respecting you and things like that. Did you get that at a young age too?
Yeah, for sure. I think people saw there was somewhat unharnessed talent there. We didn't really have anyone teaching us that did it on this level, for example, but there was some level of talent there, and there was a passion about it, just like they're passionate. And you know, there wasn't many wrestlers in the scene back then, so it was anyone who loved wrestling that just sort of came together. I never felt any awkwardness of being that young or whatever, but when I think back, like, it is pretty crazy that a 12-year-old was wrestling 25-year-olds. But it's just what we did back then.
And it's panned out for you, obviously, because look where you are now. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, mate.